you look at right now the questions, and a lot of teams have questions in the playoffs. I think the Dodgers' questions is their rotation. They lost 2 pitchers, which will affect them. Their bullpen, questionable, but their lineup is ridiculous. The Chargers. I'm sorry. The Padres. You already said that there's 2 guys. That's it offensively. So where are their weaknesses? All the teams in the National League, from top to bottom, the 6 teams that we've mentioned. Tell us what you think of their weaknesses and their strengths, and why you think they are a shoo-in on possibly winning a World Series.
I think I might go with Atlanta and actually go back-to-back. Yeah.
Ooh. Atlanta and who? Atlanta and who in the American League?
Astros.
Ooh, same World Series as last year? Wow. That happened in hockey in 08 and 09 with the Penguins and Red Wings with different winners.
We're talking about a lot of these are just coin flips to me.
Yeah.
Well, I think the teams, the 5 or 6 teams at the top are just so close. I think I trust the Astros pitching more than I trust the Yankees pitching, and I think the offenses are pretty equal. I'd probably give the Yankees a bit of a slight edge defensively, but I lean Stros there, and then I just can't. That Dodgers top of the lineup. I mean, having to see those guys that many times in a playoff series, they're just going to put up runs.
I think the Dodgers are going to be eliminated pretty early. I do. I don't buy the Dodgers. I really don't. The Padres scare me because I like their rotation and I like their bullpen, and I think Hader's a lot better than people make him out to be. And I think even though he has not been good in the playoffs, let's be honest, I think I just like him. I think he's the best relief pitcher in baseball when he is on. So but I think the 2 teams that I would be worried about in the National League would probably be the Cardinals and the Mets. I know everybody has the Atlanta Braves and have the Dodgers because those are the teams or the powerhouses.
I could totally see the Cardinals, man. I could. I don't know what the odds are.
I bet on the Cardinals. I bet on the Cardinals this year. I bet on them last year. I think the Cardinals go to the World Series this year. I do.
I think it's a really smart kind of underdog pick, especially with the Dodgers and the Mets drawing in all that action because of those markets. I could totally see the Cardinals being a really good value pick right now.
By the way, we are talking to RotoWire assistant baseball editor James Anderson.
So I wanted to ask about kind of the format, because obviously the top two teams are going to get the byes now, so it's a little like what the NFL playoffs used to be. So is there anyone that you think could get hurt from that kind of thing, either having to sit and wait or not having the injuries back?
I think it's going to really benefit. I mean, I think the team that might have been I think the Astros have the most rotation depth right now, and so I think they might have been more suited to just being ready to go right away. I don't think they needed the extra rest, but I think the other 3, I think the Yankees, Mets, Dodgers could all really benefit from the rest.
You know, before we let you go, it's so interesting, and we can go back and forth, and we can argue who's going to win the World Series this year, because all these teams are qualified to win. Now, who's to say that the Tampa Bay Rays don't make the playoffs? They don't squeak into the playoffs, go all the way to the World Series this year.
They're my AL sleeper.
And win the whole thing. They really could. The lineup is good enough. Their defense is always good. Obviously, I'm a big fan of their manager, but everybody else is. Even though he's a choke artist, and we all know what he did in the World Series when he was there.
I don't think the Rays offense is good enough, to be honest.
Really? Why is that?
I mean, they just have a bunch of who on their team would you say is a power hitter?
I think power doesn't matter in the playoffs. I think power is overrated. Ask the Yankees. I mean,
well, the Rays don't strike out 200 times like the Yankees do.
But that's not my thing. I'm saying
nobody on their team though. Like if you're down a run or you're like, there's no one on their team where they'd be up to bat and I'd be like, oh crap, like he's gonna tie it here. You can win a World Series without having a ton of power. But I think when the top is just as stacked as it is, I think you do need to have a couple guys that scare the opposing pitching staff.
I think their shortstop is a star. I think they have some, interesting pieces that, and I bringing back Glass now. He's ready to, to make his run in the playoffs. I think he's a dangerous pitcher. I think their rotation could be very scary. They have a Cy Young candidate. Was one of the better pitchers in the first half. He kind of slowed down in the second.
He got
half.
hurt and he hasn't recovered since.
Yes, but nevertheless, I think that their rotation's pretty good. They could be dangerous. I just think when you look at the big picture right now, James, I just in the American League, everybody seems to think it's the Yankees in Houston, and in the National League, everybody still believes it's the Dodgers in Atlanta. And I'm going to tell you this. I wouldn't be surprised if all four teams lose in the divisional series, and we're talking about a completely different conversation in the ALDS and the NLDS. There is no sure thing this year. I don't think there's a sure thing on any of these teams. Everybody keeps saying Houston. Who's to say Houston is a sure thing? I like their rotation. They have some young pay. Two of those pitchers never even pitched in the playoffs. So or pitched one game last year in the playoffs? Or came in as a relief pitcher in the playoffs. Are you going to?
Well, yeah, they're going to do a lot of openers.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. There are no guarantees in that rotation except Verlander, who, by the way, is coming back from an injury. Who's hasn't really been 100% in the second half of the season. There is no guarantees with them, and the same thing with the Yankees. I mean, I hope they're not. I don't know if Frankie Montez is okay or he's healthy enough to play in the playoffs. I really hope they don't pitch him. I'd be freaking scared if he's pitching in that rotation. And Garrett Cole scares me. By the way, I think he just gave up a home run. He did. So, and that's a league-leading home run that he gave up. So,
to the Blue Jays' backup catcher, Danny Jansen.
Yeah. So, I'm not surprised about that. So, and that's what scares me about, a guy like Garrett Cole. If Garrett Cole gives up a 3-run home run and the Yankees can't end that game, they're done. And that's what scares me about the Yankees. These guys need to be shutdown pitchers. They need to give their offense a chance to get a lead. I don't necessarily know if they could do that under pressure. And that's what scares me.
I wonder if Garrett Cole might have starting to get playoff Clayton Kershaw syndrome. It seems like he always allows his home runs in the 6th inning when he does.
Yeah, I mean, I'm with you. I'm with everything you said, though. Like, it is wide open. I could see a case for like 8 of these teams. I mean, that's what makes it so fun, though, right?
Well, it also makes me want to throw up because as a Yankee fan, I want to see my team finally win in 12 years. I mean, this is the longest drought the Yankees had, but I'm not one of those Yankee fans, okay? I have to win. I just want to see my team put up a good fight. If they lose in the ALDS, they win a divisional series, they lose in the ALDS, or even if they lose in the World Series and it's fair, I'm happy because I expect my team to compete. They're not competing, and they're getting bounced out by, I don't know, the Boston Red Sox in a wild card game last year where, everybody's calling Garrett Cole Kermit all offseason. It kind of, as a Yankee fan, we paid this guy $300 million. It doesn't make me happy as a fan when I'm watching, I don't know, Stevie Cohen spend $1 billion and he's getting his team into the playoffs just because he's spending money.
Except at the catcher position where that still hasn't worked yet.
Well, they got Alvarez, and I think Alvarez
will have to save them.
I'm pretty confident that we'll see the Yankees in the ALCS.
Oh, look at that. I'm going to remember you said that, because if they don't, we're going to get you on the show, James, and then I might have to, I might have to Jeffrey Dahmer you.
I didn't say they're going to get out of the ALCS, but I think they'll be.
You don't believe in the 21-year revenge for the Seattle Mariners?
No, they're undermanned, I think.
Yeah, but we really appreciate you joining us, as always, giving us the half an hour. Definitely check out. Tell the fans how they can find you. Obviously, you're an editor for RotoWire. Tell us how they can find you.
Yeah, you can follow me on Twitter at RealJRAnderson, and I do the prospect rankings at RotoWire, and I'll be my end of season top 400 prospects next week.
Hold on. Where do you? And by the way, we're definitely going to get you on, because if the Yankees are not in the LDS, I'm definitely going to have a word with you. So, where do you have Volpe?
On the next update, he'll be at 7.
Oh, okay. That's
all right. Is Alvarez still number 1?
I don't think you want to know where I've got him.
Oh, no.
I fell.
Oh,
he did. He
no.
fall. He hasn't had a really good
Somebody
second half.
surpassed him.
I never had him. I've never even had Alvarez top 25 on that.
Not confident in him saving the Mets offensive hitting woes.
No, he hasn't really been hitting, so.
Then again, neither is James McCann or Tomas Nido. Actually, Nido's had a pretty good 2 weeks recently, but beyond that, nothing.
But we really appreciate you, man. We'll get you on again. You definitely have an interesting personality. And check out Jeffrey Dahmer's story, the evil in Mr. Dahmer. And like I said, if the Yankees don't make the LDS, I might have to Jeffrey Dahmer you, my friends. I'm just not going to eat you, okay? I don't do that stuff.
Actually, one more question. Because you said you were a Minnesota fan, but you're a Brewers fan for baseball. Is it like a split, or is it all Wisconsin besides the Minnesota teams? What is that? Because I feel silly accusing you of being a Badger fan.
Pro team's Wisconsin.
So you're all right. So you're all Wisconsin for the pro teams, and then you're just a Minnesota.
So you're a Packer fan, huh?
Yeah.
All right. Go Aaron Rodgers, baby. Devontae Adams is really regretting, his stay over there with Derek Carr. How long is it going to take Josh McDaniels to get fired? I don't know. Probably by the end of the year.
You guys might get Nathaniel Hackett back too, because his time bomb in Denver.
I have a feeling by next year Devontae Adams is going to demand a trade, and he's going to head back to Green Bay. I really do believe it. I can't see it. He is already complaining about the offense and Josh McDaniels calling, and even Derek Carr. He's kind of thrown Derek Carr under the bus. So it's just a matter of time when Devontae Adams pushes his way out of there. So I knew it wasn't going to work that long. He should have never left Aaron Rodgers. I'm sure he's regretting it today. So I'm not surprised.
Yeah, maybe.
Anyways, thank you, my friends.
Yeah, thanks for having me on.